In the aftermath of the bloody battle, Moiraine, Lan, and the 4 potential dragon reincarnates continue their journey to the White Tower, with the Trollocs in hot pursuit. The 6 escapees ride at full speed for several hours, but can't seem to outrun the dark creatures. They eventually reach a river and employ the service of a ferryman to cross it. Seconds after reaching the other end, the Trollocs arrive at the scene but can't cross the river, as they're scared of deep waters. Seeing the monsters, the ferryman explains his son is on his way there and begs Moiraine to let him return to the other side. However, the Aes Sedai mage ignores his pleas and summons a whirlpool to destroy the boat. The ferryman tries swimming to it, but only gets caught in the circling water and drowns to his death. Witnessing Moiraine's cruelty, the rest of the group grows skeptical about her true intentions and raises concerns about their safety. However, they have little time to ponder this as they leave the area and camp elsewhere. Later that night, Egwene picks Moiraine's interest, with the sorceress inviting her for a quick chat. The Aes Sedai mage tells Egwene all about magic abilities, widely known as the One Power, and informs the young woman that she has the ability to channel it. To prove this, Moiraine gives her a quick lesson, and thanks to her guidance, Egwene manages to summon this One Power. After this, Moiraine educates her on the ways of the Aes Sedai, and explains the group has 3 binding laws. 1. They shall not speak any word that is untrue. 2. The mages shall not make a weapon to kill another. And finally, they shall never use the One Power to take the life of another, except in self-defense or to protect others. Hearing the last law, Egwene questions her about killing the ferryman. However, Moiraine counters that the ferryman's actions would have given the Trollocs a route to get to them, and by extension, resulted in their death. As such, sacrificing him was an act of self-defense. This explanation makes Egwene trust Moiraine, and she eventually retires for the night, joining her friends. The next morning, Perrin, Mat, Rand, and Egwene are awakened by the same puzzling but scary dream. In it, they see a bat and an eerie-looking man revealed to be the Dark One, the Lord of Evil, who fought the first dragon many years ago and also brought chaos to their world. When they wake up, they immediately narrate their dreams to Moiraine. The Aes Sedai mage obviously knows something about their visions, but doesn't say anything, and only mounts her horse to continue the journey. Having grown tired of her secrecy, Rand bombards her with a load of questions. Moiraine answers a handful, but reveals very little. This secrecy only makes Rand much more wary of her, and he consults with his friends whether or not to follow the mage. A trusting Egwene suggests they go on with her, and the group eventually gives in. As the company continues its journey, they run into the White Cloaks, an army of men who hunt the Aes Sedai and all practitioners of the One Power. The White Cloaks stop and question them, with Valda, a high-ranking official, leading the interrogation. Moiraine hides her Aes Sedai ring and delivers truthful but misleading answers to conceal her true identity. After his suspicions have been cleared, Valda bids the company goodbye and lets them go as they continue their journey. After traveling several miles, they eventually set up camp in the woods. Perrin sets out to refill his water bottle in a nearby river, but suddenly gets surrounded by a pack of wolves. At first, he's frightened by them, but the wolves stand still and do not attack. Seconds later, one wolf approaches and licks his wounds, after which the animals all exit the scene. After the strange encounter, Perrin returns to camp and is reunited with his friends. There, he, alongside the others, discovers that Moiraine is very sick, and she has sustained major injuries fighting the Trollocs in their village. The Aes Sedai women can't use the One Power healing abilities on themselves. As such, her only chance of survival is to find another Aes Sedai mage to heal her wounds. That night, while they sleep, the Trollocs, led by an evil creature known as a Fade, find and attack them. The group hurriedly mounts their horses and race toward Shadar Logoth, a nearby abandoned city, to seek refuge. As soon as they reach the city's outskirts, the Fade and Trollocs stop pursuing them, almost as if they're scared of the area's presence. The group ignores this and forges ahead as they enter the walls of Shadar Logoth. Upon entering the city, the 4 potential dragon reincarnates realize it is completely abandoned and ask Lan about it. When they finally settle in one of the buildings, the henchman tells them the story of the abandoned city. Years ago, during the Great War against the Dark Forces, the people of Shadar Logoth sealed their walls and isolated themselves from the outside world. When the war ended, refugees came to the city to find shelter, but found the entire city deserted. Since then, no one knows what really happened in Shadar Logoth. But legend has it that evil rose from the heart of the city and devoured everything within the city. Lan ends this story with the warning as he cautions the young folk not to touch anything or eat any food while there. Later that evening, Mat explores the ancient city and stumbles on a cool-looking blade hidden in the rubble. He takes the weapon, but moments later gets distracted by the sound of frightened horses. Meanwhile, the rest of the group race to the scene and watch a growing shadow devour a horse, turning it to ashes. Mat soon joins the group, but before they get a chance to reunite, the shadow encroaches and chases after them. The company splits into 3 groups, with Lan and the sickly Moiraine riding out of the city on horseback. Perrin and Egwene race to the top of the city's wall with the darkness in hot pursuit and eventually jump into a nearby river, while Mat and Rand pair up and narrowly outrun the pursuing shadow as they race to the other end of the city. They escape into the surrounding water and use a log to paddle to the other side. Having escaped the encroaching darkness, Lan finally settles and lays Moiraine down to rest. As he does this, he suddenly gets a knife held to his throat by an unknown figure. As he tilts back, he discovers that the unknown figure is actually Nynaeve, thus revealing she escaped from the hands of the Trollocs.
If you don't take me to them right now, I'll slit your throat.